Got our little gift basket. It included Vegemite. I'm gonna try it.
Henny, where are we and what are we doing?
We're back with more surprising things in Australia. From the food we ate, places we visited, and the things we saw, here are some more unusual things about Australia, including that iconic Australian spread, Vegemite. Did we like it? Stay tuned to find out. Jeff is a big car guy, and one thing he honestly was looking forward to in Australia was seeing a Holden. And when we came upon a group of dealerships, we had to make a stop.
So my car guy husband, we had to stop to take a picture of a Holden.
We saw some other non-US vehicles, including this Mazda truck. While we initially were surprised at the number of trucks offered, it really made a lot of sense. Our rental car was a Haval Jolia SUV. While we did find it to be quite comfortable, we also found some quirks, like figuring out how to take it out of park took literally 5 minutes.
No, you turn it. There's park, rear drive.
Turning it. The park button is on. Okay, I found it.
And while I did find the lane departure warning helpful at times, it seemed to go off at all the wrong times and quite quickly became irritating. We were so happy when we finally figured out how to turn it off.
Gotta say, all these safety features that cars have these days, if they're not done well, really annoying. And I will say on this car, they are not done well.
Australia has a store called Sydney Tools. Now, I don't know exactly which store we visited, and maybe it was some mega store, but I've literally never seen so many tools in all of my life. I had no idea Milwaukee made these many tools.
I've never seen so many tools in my life.
I haven't either. This is amazing.
And speaking of stores, we visited a mall outside of Newcastle, and we were surprised to see both a Vans and a Lids. And the Lids featured pretty much exclusively American sports teams, and also had some unusual offerings for those teams, including this cap from my beloved California Angels. As we were out and about, we often popped into a corner mini mart to grab a snack or something to drink. We weren't surprised to see common US brands, but we were surprised to see those brands attached to foods we'd never seen. Like, where can I get M&M cookies? We were surprised to see Peeps, although frankly I'm surprised to see them in the US, so. And here's an interesting combo. And kudos for truth in advertising. Now, this was a road trip, and several times we popped into Woolworths, the local grocery store, to grab sandwich fixings along with snacks and beverages. Again, not super surprised to see American brands, but hey, Ocean Spray, why can't our cranberry jelly come in jars instead of cans? And where has this been all my life? This is a super finely ground instant coffee that is delicious. Side note, I'm filming this about 10 months after our return, and I just got back from visiting my sister in Tulsa, and she has this exact thing on her counter. I asked her about it, and she said it's available everywhere. I think I need to re-examine my grocery shelves. Another beverage that I'd never seen in the US but saw at my sister's, drinking chocolate. Some surprising things, a large selection of custard, both shelf-stable and refrigerated. I'm guessing this is their version of pudding, but I kind of regret not trying it. Instant porridge, which is not the same as oatmeal. A rather large selection of chicken-flavored crackers, as well as pickled onions. Yellow mustard, which in my opinion is at the bottom of the mustard ladder, is labeled American mustard. An entire aisle dedicated to South Asian cuisine, which honestly makes sense. And a note to my Australian friends, Old El Paso is not Mexican food. And so many varieties of Kit Kats and Cadbury chocolates. The only place that has close to this variety is my local British store. Not surprising was the selection of Walker's cookies, which are delicious, but how do I get all these varieties in the US? Especially these mince pies. One thing that we continually had to wrap our minds around was Christmas being out in full force at the beginning of November, because there is no concern for Halloween or obviously Thanksgiving. Although we did see Halloween cereal at the Easy Mart in flavors I've never seen. But more than this, Christmas in Australia is in the summer. Everywhere we went, we were reminded of this, and every time it made me do a double take.
Christmas and summer.
Summer snacks across from Christmas treats. Cool toys next to Christmas decorations. Although I'm totally on board with this display. So we were curious to find out if there were any differences between Christmas in Australia versus the US, and honestly, there weren't many. You won't see many flocked trees, although we did see a few. We were surprised at how many trees were decorated with only lights or had no decoration at all. Even though it's summer, Santa still wears his full fur-trimmed red suit. I never really gave much thought to what Santa would wear in the southern hemisphere, and I'm not sure what else he would wear. I'm hoping he has some good AC in that sleigh. Now, one thing we did not see were snowmen, or really any nod to snow or cold winter nights, which totally makes sense because, well, summer. And I did note a distinct lack of nativities. What you will see are spectacular displays in stores, malls, and community spaces. My favorite display was in the Brisbane Arcade, which was incredible. In our previous video, I got a lot of pushback on my comments on food. So in this video, I want to focus on the highlights. Firstly, Tim Tam cookies are the bomb. I immediately became obsessed with them and continually asked, why are these not available in the US? Turns out they are, I just never noticed them. Honestly, that might be a good thing. In Cairns, we tried Balinese food for the first time and it was delicious. It made us realize that we should have tried more of the South Asian and Pacific Island cuisine that is prevalent in Australia, and we'll be sure to do that when we return.
That's very good. That's very good.
We came across sticky date pudding at a little restaurant called Bira. The British dessert sticky toffee pudding is one of our favorites, and while this is a bit different, it was similar and just as delicious. And what about Vegemite? Well, in our goodie basket at the Port Stephens Koala Sanctuary, where we slept with koalas, we received some Vegemite along with bread and butter. I knew to toast the bread and butter it and also use a small amount of the Vegemite. But I also thought adding jelly would help. That was not a good idea.
All right.
Okay.
Again, where are we and what are you doing?
Okay, so it is the morning. I look lovely.
Like 6 in the morning.
Yes. At the Port Stephens Koala Sanctuary, where you get to sleep with the koalas. You don't actually sleep with the koalas, you just sleep by the koalas. That's okay. I will say that crack it on, those birds are chatting and you're gonna wake up and you are not going back to sleep. So, got our little gift basket. It included Vegemite. I'm gonna try it. So my plan is, I know you're supposed to use it on toast with butter, so this is toasted, buttered toast here. I'm going to put jelly, strawberry jelly, on this piece here. And I'm going to have it with strawberry jelly. I have no idea if that's how you're supposed to have it. I'm guessing that it's not, but I'm also hoping that it maybe helps with the flavoring. I'm not going to. I don't want to.
You're not really Australian if you have jelly with your Vegemite.
I think, but I'm not Australian, so there you go. There's not a lot on there. And in case I like it with the jelly, I have a plain piece of toast just to see. That's what it looks like.
Smell it?
It doesn't have much of a smell with the jelly. I taste it. Let's just do it on the plain toast. I kind of like it.
Well done.
It's got, God, how do you, wow. It is not nasty at all. How do you explain the flavor? It's a strong flavor. It's a savory flavor. You know what it tastes like? Almost like super intense beef bouillon. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm glad I tried it.
Our last night in Brisbane, we popped into a little bar with live music called Chattanooga Restaurant and Jazz Bar. The bar had a New Orleans jazz vibe, and the band, Rockin' an Accordion, was playing a variety of music. Everything from the Eagles Hotel California to Volare to Dion's Wanderer. The folks working the bar were super friendly, and while not the type of bar I would expect to find in Australia, it was the perfect way to end our fantastic vacation. Thanks so much for watching, and let us know if this was a quality video by giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you'll know where we are and what we're doing next. Most of all, I hope that you have a quality day.